So here's a recipe for a really yummy snack, or it could be a side to a meal, or you could add a salad to it to make it more of a meal. But it's really great. Kids enjoy it. And the idea came from eating it from a pizzeria. And so I decided, oh, I could make that at home. And so I did. So basically what you want to do is you want to start with pizza dough. Now, normally I would make pizza dough in my bread maker, but I decided to cut a corner and to buy an already made pizza crust, and it actually kind of sucks. I'm sad that I'm not making this with my own crust, but we shall persevere. So first you want to roll out your pizza crust in as wide a shape. It can be rectangular, it could be square, it could be circular, whichever way floats your boat. Now, this recipe also typically has spinach leaves, but I am substituting kale because my spinach went bad. You got to do what you got to do. So first thing you want to do, once your pizza crust is rolled out, you're going to layer on what would be spinach leaves, but in this case is going to be chopped kale. And it's a great way to get people who don't like their veggies to eat their veggies. So you need spinach, you need pizza dough, and you're going to cover the pizza dough, leave a little bit of the ends visible so that it can sort of stick. And we're going to turn this into a pinwheel kind of idea. So the next thing you're going to need, and feel free to omit this part if you don't like, is pepperoni. So you take your pepperoni, and again, you can use vegetarian roni, you could not use pepperoni, whatever you would like to do. You could substitute something else. But you make it pretty with pepperoni if that's what you're gonna do. And then add my pepperoni in here. I have my oven preheating at 350. I'm gonna add some pepper. Now I'm gonna add Parmesan cheese. Normally I would use the powdered, but they were out of it at the store, so shredded is just fine. And you want to get that nice and cheesy. It already looks yummy. Okay. Now, you essentially have the meal made. What you're going to do is now roll this dough up so that it's like a pinwheel. So you're going to start at one end and keeping the ingredients on the pizza dough. You just begin to lift and make a tube. And at first to start, it'll feel weird. The dough, will want to bubble, but you just stay with the process. And you want to roll it as tightly as you can. I'm just going to roll it right over. Make sure that the ingredients stay here and don't move forward and push out of your pinwheel. Okay. And it sort of always happens at the end, which is why you leave some dough at the end to make sure you can somewhat secure the shape. Okay. So we have our roll now nice and tight. Then you want to take your knife. And you're going to make slices. So the ends will always be a bit jank, but it comes out as a nice little pinwheel. And you can make them as thick or as thin as you like. It just will change the cooking time. And so you're going to cut them, these discs. It helps if you have a very sharp knife that can go through the layers, and it'll be different. This is a little cumbersome because the kale is curly kale. With the spinach, which is the original recipe, the leaves lie flat and are easier to cut through. And our end piece over here. And when you're done, you're going to take parchment paper and a cookie sheet. You are going to line your slices face down. And I know you're like, Valerie, which way is face down? It's whichever side you want it to be. You're going to load up your cookie sheet. And you don't want them to touch because the pizza dough will expand. This curly kale made it slightly messy, but that's all right. You're going to rock with it. Okay, so when you're done, put my little pepperoni piece right there. This is what it'll look like, a bunch of pinwheels on your cookie sheet. Now, if you want, you can also add a little bit of parm on top. Okay, so now I'm gonna bake this in the oven at 350, and you wanna bake it to your level of doneness. I like mine a little browner, but I'm gonna come back in the next video and show you what it looks like when they're baked off. See you soon.